Am I the only one that thinks these sharing economy apps are weird? These apps where you can get a ride, get someone to bring you food, and stay in someone's house. These are all things that I heard growing up to not do with strangers, right? My mom would always say, no getting a ride from strangers. Um, Now she asks me to help her get a stranger to take her to the airport. Then now we have strangers that bring us food. She always told me not to accept candy from strangers. Um, you don't know what these people can do to the food, she would say. Then we get someone to pick us up from the airport and stay in their house, right? I wasn't allowed to go in strangers' houses either. Um, and the thing is, nothing's changed, right? Uh, my mom didn't want me to be around strangers because you never know what these people do in their free time. That still hasn't changed, right? These are still strangers. Um, right. Um, that guy picking you up from the airport, he could have had an orgy in his back seat last week. You don't know how well he cleans his car after that happens, right? That guy picking up your food, he could have had an orgy right before he picked up your food, right? You don't know how well he cleans up his hands after. Then he's touching the bag of food, and then you touch that same bag, and it's all over your hands, and then you go to eat your food. Hopefully, you're not eating something like pizza or hamburger. Use a fork, right? Um, and then you always have to be mindful of serial killers, right? You never know who's a serial killer because the neighbors are always like, they were totally normal and quiet. Like, this is totally unexpected, right? And these apps are a serial killer's dream, right? All they have to do is sign up, and then they have access to thousands of victims, and they could harm them in hundreds of ways, right? Your driver can just drive you in the middle of nowhere and then hack you to death, right? Your food guy can poison you, and you might not even be thinking that you've been poisoned by your food guy. The guy that you're staying at his house, he can just sneak up on you, right? You never know. I think in 10 years, Netflix is going to come out with a documentary about the sharing app serial killer.